been a bit shocking, isn't it? Right?
It's been a bit much.
It's been emotion, and I personally, right, I have always enjoyed AJ. Yeah, I'm going to get comfortable in this. I might even have a little bit of an emote. I've always really enjoyed AJ. Right, I know a lot of people think he's boring as a person. I know he goes through different phases. Like the original AJ was terrifying. Then he had that middle ground AJ, where people were moaning about him being bored, like just boring and going for the.
Yeah.
But long and short of it is, you got 3 of the 4 belts. You have to defend them for the mandatories.
Yeah.
Your market value is intrinsically hinged upon you constantly defending these belts and remaining champion. Right, what would you do? And also, you're getting paid decent whack every single time. Of course, you're going to do that, right? So, what we saw on Saturday night, in a shocking upset, very few people, other than, like you said, in the Bulls, other than Nick Ball and Rico, wanted. Okay, so let me say that no one wanted Daniel Dubois to win. Right. No, I know you're obviously hinged on what you can say. As a member of the boxing fandom, not many people wanted Dan to win. Right. Not that they wasn't against him winning.
It went very flat in the stadium.
If you well, okay, fair. If you said who do you think is going to win, most people are going to say AJ.
Yes, for sure.
When you ask the man on the street who was going to win, out of association only, they're going to say AJ. He is a uber star. Right.
Yeah.
I think, as someone that has been a fan of the fistic arts since I was about 3, right? I think that they didn't take Dan lightly at all. Because why would you? At this level, at this size card, 96,000 people, it is a enormous event.
And AJ was the challenger going into it.
And AJ was it, but Dan really wasn't a champion.
It's with a
asterisk next to it, right? Until you, in my opinion, again, you're not allowed to talk on this.
Oh no.
Until you beat Usyk, you're not champion, right? You can defend that belt all you want. Usyk stopped you, dude. And Usyk stopped you whilst defending the belt that you got given due to politics. All good, right? Hey, you are a world champion on paper. You are a bad boy fighter. You have had a amazing resurgence because 3 fights ago we saw you quit.
Yeah.
3 fights ago we saw you quit against Usyk.
Against Usyk, yeah.
Yeah, right? But the Miller fight, he had a turning point.
Yeah.
His dad shouted at him. Said, get this going, and he did. Right?
Yeah.
After that, Hrgović, shocking. Well, I didn't think he was going to beat Hrgović. Hrgović, there was... I wouldn't be shocked if Hrgović took him lightly or whatever, who knows. Then he comes out and beats up AJ, right?
Destroys AJ.
Was it 5 rounds?
Yeah, 4 or 5 rounds.
5 rounds.
Didn't go longer than 6.
AJ was on his ass 4 times.
Yeah.
One of them was counted the slip. I don't think it was a slip. Maybe it was 5 times and a slip. Anyway, I think that with the stardom, the skill, the athleticism, and the power of AJ, I think that they wanted to put a lesson on Dan. I think the plan was to Lennox him. Right?
Yeah.
To box fight at him,
to
piece him up at range, do what you want with him, outclass him, outskill him, outfight him, stop him, to let everyone know it goes like this. Usyk, Fury, me.
Yeah.
And I'm next. Right? I think that was the plan. What actually happened was he got caught by a very heavy puncher in fly gloves, right? Them fly gloves, they're naughty. Right? I'm sure those Leon gloves are naughty as well. 10-ounce gloves on giant men like that is terrifying.
Oh, 100%.
Terrifying. Right? He got caught. He didn't really recover. And that's not a knock. Like, this is not a knock on AJ at all because you land on it. Like, I mean, all right, look. Was it low? Was it not low with Usyk? Usyk was down for about 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
He was down for ages.
All the time he could.
Yeah, he was down for ages. Like,
and to be fair, there was an opportunity for AJ to do the same.
Yeah.
There was a low shot and AJ just cracked on with it.
He just waved it off, carried on.
Eddie was screaming at him
I'm
to
sure
take
he
the
was.
count.
I'm sure he was. Right? So with that in mind, with that lined up, even today he's come out on a social media on one of those Instagram reels or the TikToks or the YouTubes, whatever it is you kids do now. And he's done like...
It's like he doesn't do it as well.
An address of the nation, right? Come out, very gracious, didn't go my way. I will be 3-time world champion. I'm going for it. And he's going to go for it. And like, I respect that. He has done so much for British boxing. He's arguably the biggest star that British boxing has ever had. He will always be the core of Matchroom's success. Yeah. Right? 100%. Yeah?
He's the guy.
He's the guy. Right? He's the guy. Without, I mean, to speak on your thing, who is one of the biggest WWF wrestling stars of all time?
Hogan.
He's like the Hogan, isn't he, for the WWF?
Yeah,
Synonymous. You see AJ and Eddie and Matchroom and DAZN, and you know that's all one thing.
Yep.
And you know it goes that way, right? There's people going out there saying he should retire. He can retire when he wants. He's got all the money he needs. He's doing this only for the love. Do you think he stays with Ben Davison?
Yes.
I do too.
I personally can't see anyone, if he went to anyone else, that would have like a massive effect on him that Ben did.
There's one trainer that would have, in my opinion, a massive effect on him, but I think that he would hate him, and I think it would be very, very controversial, and that is Teddy Atlas. Teddy Atlas is the only trainer out there that still is in the game, and Teddy hardly trains anyone anymore.
I was going to say, Teddy's pretty much retired now.
He's not. He's just. He would only do it for the right person, and I think he would do it to AJ. I think he would do it with AJ, right? He's the only person, and I think because he got stopped on a mistake. Right?
Yeah.
He was coming in on an uppercut. His chin was up. His left hand wasn't there to shield on it.
And he just got caught.
And that is after he's been down on his arse by a big punch a few times already.
It was seconds before as well, the first damage he'd actually done to Dubois.
Exactly. So he's now
Dubois was on the back foot for the first time in the fight, and then he got caught.
Yeah, it is what it is, right? If they do a rematch, I wouldn't be shocked if we see that again, but in reverse. And then they do a trinity.
I think the way to beat Dubois is to out Dan. I think you've just kind of got to take it to him.
Please know just how hard I am stopping from doing bants about how to beat Dubois.
It's personal growth. You're growing as a person.
Please continue.
But I feel like Dan, he goes out and, I mean, you know, like Joyce used to try and juggernaut him.
Yeah.
Like, and I feel like if you trade with Dan to survive with Dan for the first 4, and then after that, I feel like when he gets a bit, you know, bit tired, that's when you can start trying to outbox him, getting the jabs in and that.
Yeah.
But I think the first 4 rounds with Dan, you've got to play him at his own game, because he will just be on the front foot.
But then that worked with AJ, right? That doesn't work with Fury. I don't think that works with Bakoli, and I don't think that works with even Zhang. I think
Bakoli and Zhang will easily stand there and trade with him.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I just don't think that that's going to go for them, right? But this video here is about loving and supporting Anthony Joshua.
Yes,
in my opinion, right? He has one of the roughest deals out there, right? He can do no right and he can do no wrong. It's so jarring for him, and I think it's been one of the biggest struggles he's had.
Yeah,
because 1 minute the fans love him.
1 minute,
the casuals love him.
Then he loses, and
then he loses, and then he's shit again. And he's just useless, and he's Frank Bruno, and he's this. Oh, yeah. I think it took 4 attempts for Frank to win a world title.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah? 4 attempts to win for Frank to win, and we loved Frank.
And that was when he did it at Wembley, wasn't it?
Yeah, against Oliver McCall.
Yes.
Right? We loved him. Right? All the way through, he was loved. AJ has the opposite. Right? He wins a world title, they mug it off. He wins another world title, they mug it off. He wins them back again after he loses. Yeah. They mug him off and call him boring and stuff like that.
And this was a time where he didn't turn down any fight. No. He fought everyone and anyone.
Everyone. I don't know.
But it's...
all right, let me say this. Right? AJ can do whatever he wants. Are you getting a little bit of buzz going on?
The buzz?
Yeah, I'm getting a little bit of buzz going on. It might be my nerves, but don't worry about it. He can do whatever he wants, right? He's going to want to avenge that to Dubois, and he should avenge that to Dubois.
Yeah.
Right? Fight anyone. Do what you... do literally what you want.
There's 3 fights, realistically, for him. There's Dubois rematch.
Yeah, Dubois rematch. Right, okay, so Dubois rematch, yes, and Dubois is beatable and beatable for AJ. Continue.
There's... the AJ Wilder fight.
Yep, and I still think
which will just be a fun.
I think that AJ batters Wilder. I've said this from a long time ago, and I continue to say this. Wilder is not the Wilder that he was.
No.
Wilder, I think Wilder gets wiped out. AJ is so much bigger than Deontay Wilder.
Wilder would have to put on the size he had.
Even it's not enough.
Fury.
It's not enough, dude. Wilder, like you saw it with Zhang.
Yeah,
Zhang just mammouthed him.
Yeah,
right. Obviously, Fury for the cash,
but you need Fury to lose again for that.
You do need Fury to lose again for that. He doesn't. I don't think that. I think the level and the skill set and the limitations of when one of them started boxing versus the other one. The amateur experience, yes, they're both Olympic gold medalists, blah, 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 blah. It's not the same. It's not the same. AJ had 40-odd amateur fights, 53 amateur fights, whatever. Usyk had 400.
That we know of. 400.
Yeah. Right? It's not the same. The level, just everything is just so much more myelinated, and you can't close that gap up. And we saw that with Fury. Like Fury, like
it just went the exact same way.
It just went that way. But for me, I will always watch AJ. If he's on a pay-per-view, I'm paying for it. If it's a fight that people say is rubbish, I'm still gonna do it. I bought the Takam pay-per-view.
Wow.
I bought the Joe Parker pay-per-view. Yeah. And that was a snoozer, boy.
Yeah.
I bought it.
How do you think, obviously Parker's now the mandatory for the IBF. How do you think Parker Dubois goes?
That's a very interesting one.
Parker.
It is a very interesting fight, that, where I could easily see Dubois just rushing him like that again, because but the problem is, I think that might actually become Dubois' thing. I think because it's worked for the past couple of fights.
Yeah.
He did the same thing to Hrgović.
Yep.
Right? Yeah. There was no change there. Right? Whatever has happened to him psychologically has worked. However, it doesn't work with Usyk. You can't rush Usyk. And I don't think you can rush Fury, because you're rushing a polar bear for a start.
And Fury as well, you've got to knock out like 3 times before he actually stays down.
You do have to do that. And to be fair, like, he was very hurt. That was probably one of the most hurt I've ever seen him, was against Usyk.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
Because he was very lucky that was the end of the round. And he was very lucky that
but he did stay up.
He did stay up, but he was done. Like, it wasn't like the Wilder ones where he got rattled, he sat down, he took a few breaths, he got back up.
I don't know, there was the Wilder one where
the one that he almost got killed.
Yeah.
But he still popped up and then beat him up in that last round.
That's what I mean. Like,
yeah. I mean, to be fair to him, in the Usyk fight, in those middle rounds, he did come back and beat.
Yeah.
Anyway, but this is not about Fury. AJ, you are the man.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments how you think that we feel AJ's nuts feel, because we're hanging off of them, as you can tell. Like, rate, review, love.
Bosh.